I'm Hans op de Beeck. I'm a visual artist. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, so I produce films, animation films. I write, I compose, I started to write and direct theater, but the main domain where I'm showing my work is the world of the visual arts, so the art institutions, the museums, the galleries, the biennials. And there I mostly show like large-scale immersive installations like this one, and sculptural work, watercolor paintings, drawings. So I try to explore all the media that are available to express or to create a mood that reflects something about how we deal with time and space and with each other as human beings. From the moment that you're really actively present in the museums and the galleries, the biennials, that your work is on show, so to say. So before I was studying and I was not out there showing my work, and I think from the moment you publicly show your work, then it really becomes received, and then it is an art piece. I think an art piece which is in a crate is not an art piece anymore because it's not activated by a viewer or a spectator. I work with a permanent team of 6 full-time assistants at the studio. And of course there's a lot of work that needs my subjective hand, like my paintings or drawings are of course things I do just by myself. The writing of course as well. But when it comes to big sculptures, big installations, I always work with the whole team. And we managed to work parallelly on different projects at the same time. So I'm writing now my second theater play for the fall, and at the same time I'm painting watercolors upstairs, and downstairs they're working on a new big installation. And so parallelly the whole building is activated on all the floors with different things. So it's never linear, just one thing, but it's always several things at the same time, which gives the advantage that when you're a bit too dizzy painting, you can shift your perception and your concentration on something else. So you working in different media gives the advantage that you can really shift your mindset. And so I do about 10-12 solo shows a year and about 20-25 group shows a year. And we managed to have this circulation of activities with the team by good planning and by really working with a big dedication to get it all done. Of course, the theater play has been performed now. My theater play for Schauspiel Frankfurt has been performed throughout the whole season. Then, of course, it's always the same play. Or in the case of video works, there's many of my video works that travel because they're very easy to send through the internet and so on. So video works are, of course, more shown than just once. And some large installations, I also always hope that they can travel, that I can have them travel from one venue or one country to the other. Well, of course, yeah, the most important people are the ones close to you. They don't have anything to do with the art, so it's my kids and my wife, so and my best friends. They are the ones that keep you going more than anything else. So, and aside of that, I think that the first museum that really profoundly believed in what I could do, the first museum curator was Roel Artista. It is a Dutch curator, museum director. And he was working at the time at a museum in The Hague in the Netherlands. And he was the first one who gave me all the confidence for a really big, extensive museum show. And he was really the first that really gave such a strong confidence to me. Like, you can pull it off, you can do that, because it was a very big show. And I was still very young at the time. I was like 34 or something, so which I consider very young for a big, extensive museum show. And there have been artists, like when I was studying art in Amsterdam, one of my teachers was Michelangelo Pistoletto, and he was one of the first older colleagues who said, I think you're a great artist, I will bring you to Milano and Torino and I'll show your work and promote it. And he did for many years. So they both have been people like colleagues as well as museum people that gave me more confidence. I was quite confident, but you know, to get this confirmation of someone else, a professional who says like, yeah, you can really do it, you can, you know, move the spectator, I give you carte blanche. And because so far all the big solo projects I did, I got carte blanche, I could do what I want. So it was not curated in the sense that the curator composed my solo shows. I always made a proposition, and the curators or the directors went along with it. I was educated as a painter first, and as a teenager I was drawing comic books. And from there on I moved on towards sculpture, and then I started to make video. And so the multidisciplinarity came at the time. So it was not like a deliberate choice, it was something that, to put it slightly pathetic, you don't choose your work, but your work chooses you. It's not a plan, it's not a strategy, it's something that all of a sudden you feel like, hey, this should be a film rather than an installation. And then you make a film. And so this is the way I ended up doing using many disciplines within the art. And what I always try to do is to get out of the comfort zone. For example, for a long time I was making silent movies, and when I was commissioned by the Schauspiel Frankfurt in Germany to write a theater play, the artistic leader of the company said that he presumed that I would make a very quiet theater play with very little text. But I did the opposite. I wrote 65 pages of text, and the play I wrote was really text-based. It was really dialogue and monologue driven. And I deliberately did that because I thought, if I make a quiet play, then I'm in my comfort zone, because that's the mood of my installations. So I decided really to go for text, and really to confront myself with difficulties to do that. Like for one of my films I composed like an old school jazz song, and as a musician I'm not a jazz expert whatsoever, but I thought I'm gonna try it because I will learn from it. So when I have to overcome difficulties, I can broaden my skills and I can grow. And so right now I'm writing another theater play, and it's a theater play for kids from 6 years onward. And so that's another challenge, because it's an entirely different audience, of course, than an adult audience. And so every time again I try to stretch my art practice, in the sense that I keep learning and keep evolving, that I never feel too overly comfortable in what I do. One of the reasons why I accepted the invitation to write a theater play and to direct it was also that I wanted to have more experience to direct text. And some of my video films have a cinematic approach with, multiple cameras and green key and blue key studio recordings and compositing and post-production and all that. And I hope in some years to make a film for which I write a script, that I will be directing, for which I do the set and the stage design, the lights, the camera work, the music, like the whole package. And what I did for Frankfurt was already a very nice effort in that direction. But I really hope to someday make a feature film where everything comes together, where I can really conceive the film as a kind of a Gesamtkunstwerk, like a total project in which I can use all the media that I love to use. I'm quite selfish when it comes to that. I did stage design for opera in the past, and there I was always a little frustrated that I could not. It was not my music, it was not my costumes. It was only the stage design, and this is why I started to do theater and write my own play and direct my own plays and do the stage design, the costumes, the music, because I like to take the full authorship. And I think if I would work with other artists, it would be a bit like writing a novel with 2 or 3 other writers, and I could not do that. I feel more comfortable when I just do it by myself, and it's not because I'm arrogant, but it's because I know I function the best in that way. And I can write a horrible play, or I can make a horrible installation, but at least I can't say it's someone else's fault, it's always my fault. And when I do something which I like this piece, I can be proud because I just did it, I took it full on, I did it entirely, it's really my authorship, and I love this very clear situation. and I admire people who can collaborate with other artists, but in my case I really love to explore every element or every aspect of the production, whether it be the script or the staging or the stage design, the light, the camera work, the sound. There was a time that I was working with 7 galleries, so it was even more complex. And now I work with 4 galleries, Galleria Continua from Italy, China, France and Cuba, Marian Boski from New York, Krinzinger from Vienna, and Ron Manders from Amsterdam. And so they're located in different countries, so they have a different audience. And well, the galleries, it's true, like every 3 years or so you do a solo show there. And I don't have like a main gallery that is organizing everything for me. So I work directly with every gallery separately. And therefore you need to be organized. So at my studio I have someone who takes care of coordinating the contracts or the paperwork, the consignment agreements, the loan agreements, things like that. So it's, but for sure it also demands some managing to make it work smoothly. So I always make proposals to the galleries, and the galleries also they're enormously supportive. So the 4 I work with are really brilliant people. I feel very supported. But they give a lot of liberty as well. So when I do a show, I really can do what I want to do. So there's no pressure like you have to do this or that type of work sells better, or there's no pressure whatsoever. So they have been extremely supportive. And one of the things that proves this is that now here at Art Unlimited with this installation, it's so massive that it's unlikely that it will get sold. It could get sold, but you know, it's not a certainty whatsoever. But still, Continua, Krinzinger and Boski help me, support me to show this project. So it's something which is very generous towards the audience, and it's not like an easy sellable piece. You know, it is really like an experience, and they're happy to support something that is of immaterial value, you could say. Like it's something that is really like a gesture towards the audience. So it's I'm very happy that that can happen as well. It's not just the art market, it's also about promoting. And yeah, so that's really a very good aspect of the collaboration. Well, I've been teaching at many art academies throughout Europe and also in the States. And but I always say that the key word is dedication. So you have to be very concentrated and dedicated. So you can't do it at 50%, so you always have to do it at 200%. You know, it's like a virtuoso that plays the violin, for example. He or she has to practice like 10 hours a day or something, like, you know, full-on dedication. And that the same goes for visual arts. You really have to do it at 500%. I think that's the key to a successful career, more than anything else. You don't have to go to openings. You don't have to do small talk, and you don't have to so overly socialize with everybody. The key is really like to work at the studio and the extreme dedication to that, and then all the rest will come. Like I never send portfolios proactively to galleries or anything of that kind. People contacted me when they had seen something, and so step by step from small exhibitions I arrived at doing big shows, but there was no proactive side from my side whatsoever. So I was not going to all kinds of social events to talk and to sell my work, nothing of that kind. So it is a positive story towards younger colleagues that don't overly focus on the periphery or the outside or the noise that comes with the, art world, but really focus on the work with an enormous dedication. And then all the rest will come. Like I never sent portfolios proactively to galleries or anything of that kind. So with an enormous dedication And then I always believe that it will happen for you. And another thing which I think is important for young artists, that they should be very stubborn. So when they study art and the teachers oppose them, but if they believe that they're right, they should be stubborn and stick to that. Because you have to be the best possible version of yourself as an artist. I cannot be Matthew Barney or I cannot be Anish Kapoor. I have to be the best Hans Op de Beek, you know, because that's the only thing I can do. I cannot try to be someone else. And this is something that young artists have to find, like really stay very close to themselves and convince people that that is the strongest they can do. When I was studying art, many of my teachers were more minimalist teachers, and my language is very figurative, at times even quite baroque, with a lot of details when I make films, or also the stage design of my play was also with a lot of details and almost mannerist. And I got this from when I was drawing comic books as a kid. I was also always detailing everything enormously. And when I studied art, my teacher said, you have to be less decorative and less illustrative. You have to reduce everything into some simple lines. And I did my best, but it didn't work. And so I gave up and I said, well, look, this minimalism, it doesn't work for me. So I have to embrace the fact that I'm a very pictorial artist and try to get the best out of that. And so it demands a certain belief in yourself that your way is the good way. And your teachers might oppose, but that's good because it makes you think about what your work is about and why you choose to do it this or that way. So opposition is fine when you study art. I think as an artist it's important that you have like an inner source or something that is, because today I have a big studio and I have 6 people working with me, but if tomorrow I would have to work in a small room again just by myself, I would be as happy. It doesn't matter for me. So you first have to work on a kind of confidence that you can produce a good piece of art. And I'm the first to say I made a lot of bad art as well. But happily enough, I also made a lot of pieces I'm still very happy with today. So you have to be able to put yourself in perspective. People that think that they're geniuses, I think they have a problem. So I think it's important to stay modest about what you do. Whether you make bread or, like my eldest sister, she's been a cleaning lady for a long time, but she does it really, really well. So it's not important what you do, and I don't differentiate. Like people who are like, oh, you're the artist? I go like, well, yeah, I'm just an artist, you know. It's not something special. It's like in the old romantic times of the art, like the artist was considered a genius, but I think there are very little geniuses. In science we had Einstein, in the music we had Johann Sebastian Bach. Maybe we can call them geniuses, but you have one person like that every 100 years, I think. You know, like, and so all the self-declared geniuses today, I think they might have a problem. They might have a problem. So it's very important to remain modest and serious and dedicated, and just work hard. It sounds silly, you know, and cliche-like, but I think that's the bottom line.